It's Wednesday, and you know what that means. AEW Dynamite live on TBS and streaming on HBO Max. The preview for March 25th. Happy birthday to my little sister Emily out there. Shout out to you. I know you don't watch because it's wrestling stuff that I post, but nonetheless, happy birthday to you. AEW Dynamite preview, March 25th, 2026, right here on Sleeper Sports Media. And we have a stacked 5 segments, matches that we know about tonight. I'm sure more will be added by the time the card is finally set, as they usually do and have done in the past, adding matches and posting the graphics and everything as the show gets started and all that. Of course, you can stay tuned for more updates as we get them, also stay tuned for live posting on Threads and Facebook, as well as possibly Twitter. At this point, I don't really see a point because the views, everything just is fluctuated and fake all over there. So Threads and Facebook will be the main two going forward for the live posting. But we get into this Wednesday night Dynamite preview. We want to shout out No Dirt Sheets for Surfshark VPN. If you have already switched over to and use a VPN and are now doing the myaew.com subscription or yearly plan, which I'll go over more details about what that entails and if it's worth it or not later towards the end after we get through the matches and everything. The opening match for Wednesday night Dynamite is the Conglomeration versus the Dogs. Orange Cassidy and Roderick Strong taking on the Dogs in tag team action. Roderick Strong and Orange Cassidy are finally in a tag team and kind of going that direction and that route. They made Tony Khan aware that they wanted to be in a tag team at the press conference after Revolution. Wanted a tag match. I think they did have one on Collision that Saturday following Revolution, but we are finally seeing Roderick Strong officially back in the Conglomeration and officially a part of it, not just hanging around them and saying that he's not in it, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But the Conglomeration versus the Dogs goes down tonight. Then we have Roosh versus Darby Allin, potentially a number one contenders match for the AEW World Champion. After the next pay-per-view, which I guess would be Double or Nothing. That is the one in New York and everything. We know Swerve Strickland and Kenny Omega, they have the number one contendership match tonight as well. There's a lot more on stake for that one than just the number one contendership. But Darby Allin has set his sights on MJF and on that AEW World Heavyweight Championship. So we are in store for a good one tonight. And speaking of MJF, speaking of the champion, MJF returns to Dynamite live. Will be live. We will hear from him live after his grueling victory in a Texas death match back at Revolution. He did a promo vignette after Revolution that aired last week on Dynamite. Now we will get him back live on TBS tonight. And then this will probably be the main event, but I have it next. Kenny Omega versus Swerve Strickland. Kenny Omega's putting his EVP status on the line for Swerve to put his number one contendership on the line. Then the winner will then be number one contender and an EVP. It looks like, I think the way they're going is we could possibly see Kenny Omega win this and go on and battle MJF, potentially lose it there, and then MJF or Kenny Omega and Will Ospreay at Allin. That would be a very interesting swerve, no pun intended. But I wouldn't mind seeing Swerve win either. So there's really no wrong choice in this match tonight. It would be interesting to see Swerve as an EVP and see what that would do. And I know the Young Bucks, they've put their EVP status on the line before, and they went back and forth, and then they just kind of dropped it, and now it's like, are they or aren't they? They're not on screen, but we know that they still are off screen and behind the camera. So it's just an interesting spin on things. But Kenny Omega, Swerve Strickland 2 goes down tonight on TBS. And then our final match that we have right now listed is, of course, the AEW Women's World Championship. Thekla going up against Mina Shirakawa. Mina Shirakawa to avenge Toni Storm, who was brutally attacked last week on Dynamite and will be out of action for the foreseeable future, likely to be out for the rest of 2026. We don't know who was behind the attack. This is very much what WWE is doing with Jacob Fatu. We still don't know who attacked him. Jey Uso, we still don't know who attacked him. They just kind of brushed over the whole Jade getting attacked thing. I mean, I know we kind of addressed it, but it was still like, okay, cool. She was attacked. We found out who it was, and then they just kind of jumped right into it and just never really gave it the time to settle for us whenever we found out who it was. So hopefully we find out who attacked Toni Storm. It's likely not Ronda Rousey, even though Tony Schiavone was swearing that it was. Ronda Rousey reportedly is not signed to AEW and not expected back in AEW anytime soon. That's blatantly obvious due to the fact that she has the fight on May 16th on Netflix for MVP MMA. You never know what could go down and what could happen after that fight in May 16th on Netflix. The full card was just released, and more on that later in a different preview video. So that was the AEW Dynamite preview for Wednesday, March 25th, 2026. What we know so far as of about 12:30, I'm sure more matches will be added, and then as they give updates on the show, hopefully I'm there to watch the whole thing. But as we get updates on the show, that will be that.